Hi everyone, in this video, I'm going to reveal exactly what it takes and exactly what goes into getting a business to $6,976 per week. The example that I'm going to give you is actually my software business, which is the business that I've got to this financial milestone. However, I also have an SEO agency, and what I'm going to show you is exactly what goes into growing any business. And where I actually got this from, I recently went to a mastermind, and there were a couple of guys that were early on in their journey, maybe in a similar position to you. They've made around £5,000 a month, and they're really looking how to get to that £20,000 a month mark. And I could really tell speaking to them, they were ultimately looking to speed run the journey. They were looking to get to those financial milestones as quick as possible. And what I did to them is that exactly what I'm going to do to you guys. I just showed them a Stripe account. And in the Stripe account, I showed them the 4 stages of business growth that it actually takes in order to get to the milestone that I've got to. And I'm going to show you guys the same thing. So hopefully after this video, you understand how to grow your business to ultimately hopefully earn maybe the amount that I've earned in a week, but potentially much more as I've done in my SEO agency. So getting straight into it, this is my actual Stripe account for my software business. And this is where I'm going to show you the 4 stages of growth that's gone into my SaaS business and really goes into any business as I see it. As you can see there, it's a $6,976 that I made in a week. You can see this is weekly for all time. My Stripe account, and actually I moved from another Stripe account before that I was using for 6 months, and yeah, there was absolutely no growth as well. And you can see the first stage of any business is this period here. For me, this is 3 months. For you, it can be much less. For others, it could be much more. And this is the nothing stage. This is a stage where you're literally going to be doing anything in order to get your business off the ground. You can see I went from December. There's also the 6 months prior as well that isn't shown here. And you can see it took me all the way until the middle of March in order to earn any money with my software business. During this time, I built a waiting list, then launched it to the waiting list, as you can see in sort of March to start of April. And you can see I hit a record $240 in that month. And that ended the first stage of growth. Moving into the second stage of growth, you can see that I went from the start of April all the way here until, you can see this is December. So this is like 9 months of just slowly building the business. And this is the stage that the guys that I was speaking to were in as well. And maybe this is the stage you're in as well. You're sort of looking ahead. You're really anxious to build that business, and you're really anxious to get things off the ground. You're getting pretty healthy growth. You know, you can see here for 9 months, I was getting steady growth. I even managed to get up to here. You can see $1,500 in a week, which is obviously absolutely incredible. At that stage, the business is making around $6,000 a month, an absolutely incredible milestone. However, if you've got incredible ambitions, you're sort of in that second stage, you're getting steady growth and you want much more. And this is actually the stage that maybe people don't fail in, but this is the stage that these guys are in, and they were really facing that anxiety. They were wondering how to get to the next stage. And if you're watching this, if you're in that stage right now, or even if you're in the first stage, if you're in sort of the 0 stage, or you get into the second stage, which is growth, this is a stage where I really compel you to enjoy the process and enjoy what you're going through in your business. I'm going to get through stages 3 and 4 later on, but I can tell you right now, with where I am and where I've had this one inflection point and the second inflection point, I can tell you firsthand that the bit that I really enjoyed in business is this stage, the stage that you're really starting to grow. You're getting that initial feeling. You're feeling as if this could really turn into something. And that is a stage where you could easily look 12 months into the future, where you want to be at some sort of financial milestone that you want to hit, and you can easily wish away time. But those stages are actually some of the best bits of business, because you're still figuring it out. You're still trying to get over some early teething periods, I guess, and you're really trying to battle in order to get to the third stage of growth, which is where you start to get that first inflection point. The second stage, you're getting that growth, and you're probably feeling a little bit of anxiety because things aren't growing as fast as you want. And I guess with Instagram nowadays, because it's so easy to, rent a Lamborghini, rent a nice house on Airbnb or something, it's easy to look at other people online and tell yourself that you're not doing well because other people are showing off and acting as if they're doing well. However, one thing I can guarantee is this is just how business works. Like, don't try and rush to get ahead, to get to that Instagram stage, because I can tell you from first-hand experience, that stuff is lies. There's people out there that are renting nice stuff to impress people they don't even like, to act as if they've got past the first and second stage. stage. When in reality, they're probably in stage 2, maybe stage 3. They're still figuring it out and they don't know much more than you know. They're just trying to act as if they're further on in their journey. And coming as someone that's been able to get to this point in my software business and get much further ahead in my agency as well, I can tell you that that stuff is rubbish and this is actually how business works. So you get through the first stage where, you're in 0. You get through that initial, period of graft. You can see for me that second stage was 9 months. And then you enter the third stage. And the third stage, in my experience, you have an inflection point. You can see I went from around $1,600 in a week, and you can see I get a huge jump. I get to $4,300 a month. You can see I even here get to $4,600 a month. So you have that initial inflection. The adrenaline's pouncing. You may be feeling as if, maybe now you've made it or whatever. However, the difference between stage 3 and stage 4 is what actually happens is after that inflection stage, you often stagnate a little bit. And the reason being is when you have that initial jump, you're going to have problems, you're going to have churn, because ultimately you've jumped ahead, you've got to some initial stage. Maybe you unlocked a customer acquisition channel, maybe you suddenly increase your prices. This is what I did here. And you'll see you have that initial jump. And don't get me wrong, it feels amazing because you're suddenly earning more money. However, this is the stage where you unlock a lot more problems, a lot more headaches because you've had that growth. But then the biggest problem here is figuring out how you can go from that jump and how you can battle out of that stagnation in order to get to the fourth stage. And I can tell you firsthand that even though in this third stage, you're earning more money than you actually were in your second stage, this is probably actually the worst stage because you've had that initial inflection point, you're feeling good about yourself. However, after that, because you have teething problems, because you get customer churn, that's where things stagnate. And that's really where the headaches come. And don't get me wrong, it is enjoyable, but that's really where you're gonna have to work a lot harder than you did here in order to figure out how you can get your business from A to B. Because remember, what has got you here isn't gonna be the thing that gets you out of stage 3 and into stage 4. So that's where you're gonna have to work really hard, maybe even change big things about your business, because again, what gets you here isn't gonna get you there. So you're gonna have to really work hard in order to get out of that third stage before you get into the fourth stage. And the fourth stage is actually that inflection point. But what I actually find happens a lot in business, because you've learned from that first stage where there's no growth, you go through this period where you get consistent growth, then you get stagnation. What actually often happens here, because you've worked so long, you can see here, this is from December to June. So this is 18 months, 18 months in the trenches, 18 months learning about my target customers, learning how to provide an absolute incredible amount of value. This is where things really start to get exciting, because when you have this inflection point, as long as you really figure things out, this is where you start to get consistent growth. Now, of course, there may be a stage 5. I'm not at there yet where things start to stagnate. But as you can see here, you start to get that initial growth and you can see things are steadily trending upwards. The reason why I wanted to show you guys how business actually works and walk you through those fourth stages is because I can tell you from first-hand experience, this is my real Stripe account. These are not made up numbers. Do not wish away these periods, because these are the periods where you're going to learn the lessons to ultimately get out of this third phase, get to the inflection point, and then continue to grow and scale your business. And when I showed the guys at the mastermind this is really the thing that blew their mind, because just being able to see those stages and being able to see how the hard work ultimately pays off to get that inflection point hopefully gave them peace of mind that they are going in the right direction. And then just to give you a little bit more perspective, zooming out, you can see here that in terms of the new customers that I was getting, it pretty much, it was growing, it stayed the same. But when you hit that inflection point, you can see here I got 306 new customers within a week. That does include the free plan. I do have a free plan on my software business. But you can see here that ultimately this is giving you a really good overview of how business actually works and how you need to go through those stages, put in the hard work and learn the skills in order to then ultimately get out of that third phase and get to the fourth stage. So there you are, guys. Hopefully in this video, you've learned a little bit of a glimpse of what goes into and what it takes to ultimately get to a business, in this case to $6,900 in a week, but ultimately help get any business to whatever stage you want to get it to, whether that be just to be earning enough in order to quit your job or ultimately to scale a business much further beyond that. And if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel where I'm documenting building a $1 billion software business. And thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you in the next video.